What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Dose with Dylan Davis. As always, I'm your host, Dylan. You can follow me on Twitter at DylanJD98. I'm joined today by my guy, Mark Henry Jr. You can follow him on Twitter at MarkHenryJr_. He's been filling in for Gint the past 2 days. It's been a lot of fun chopping up with him, so he's back today. And Gint, congratulations on another victory, Coach Gint, last night. How many more wins do you need to take home some state hardware?
2 more wins.
2 more wins, and he takes home some state hardware. You can follow him on Twitter at Matt_McGinty. And on today's show, we are going to be just full breakdown of last night's overtime loss to the Bucks. I don't like to talk about moral victories too much. A loss is a loss, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of positives to be taken away from last night's Sixers-Bucks matchup. We'll touch a little bit on the weekend because with the tournament starting tomorrow, there's not going to be a daily dose tomorrow. Probably over the weekend. We'll be back on Monday with Scotty. So we'll touch a little bit on their back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday and give our outcomes on the weekend and see if they can come away with a few more wins. And then to wrap up the show, we will talk more brackets since the first 4 games start tonight. I believe 5:30 the tip-off is of the first. What's the first matchup tonight, Mark? Is it Norfolk and App, or is it?
I think it's St. Mary's and Texas Southern. I know that Wichita and Drake is at 6:30, and I believe UCLA and Michigan State's at 10.
That's the late game, yeah. All right, so we'll be getting more into our bracket, maybe give out some picks if we want to. And then you can find Mark on the same spot, your Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're streaming us right now. You can find Mark here at 5 o'clock on the Tough Cover Pod, breaking down, I'm guessing, the Midwest today?
Yep, finishing up, doing the Final Four.
There we go. All right, let's get into it, boys. So last night was a weird night. And you guys can comment as much as you want. Join the conversation with us. It always makes it a lot more fun and a lot more interesting when you guys are in the comment section. But last night, me and Mark yesterday gave our predictions for the games, talked about the game a little bit, and I think we both chalked it up as a loss. Again, you weren't on the show, but I feel like I know you probably were thinking loss going into last night's game without Embiid. And then one of my takeaways is it just hurt more than I thought it was going to in the chest last night, because I chalked it up as a loss, and then they come out, if you want to call it Milwaukee just missing shots, or you want to call it smothering defense by the Sixers, they hold Milwaukee to 31 points total. In the first half of last night's game, they had a 19-point lead. They led by double digits a majority of this game, and then they let it slip away. And then down like 7 or so with under a minute left, they end up coming back. Furkan Korkmaz hits a corner 3 with 0.4 seconds left to force overtime, and it just wasn't enough, man. They were gassed. I think that you could just see it on their faces. You could see it on their shots hitting front rim. For a long stretch of the fourth quarter, the Sixers only had 2 field goals. Like, shots just weren't falling. Tobias Harris shot like 8 of 23, 8 of 24 last night. Ben Simmons wasn't that efficient from the field. Mike Scott come off the bench 0-5. We'll get into him a little bit later. Just overall, shots weren't falling, and this game stung more than I was anticipating or more than I was hoping last night. Again, you haven't been around in a while. Give me one of your thoughts on last night's game, how it felt afterwards.
Yeah, like you said, going into the game, I didn't even think we were going to keep it close, if I'm being honest with you. On a back-to-back, the Bucks are fully healthy. I don't know why there's like this persona going around the NBA. The Bucks aren't a problem. Yeah. They've only improved. So I didn't think it was going to be close, and like you said, they kept it close. And at one point, you're up 19 points. So when you lose that game, there's a little wrench in the heart. But nonetheless, I don't want to say it's okay, because blowing 19-point leads is unacceptable no matter who's on the floor. But did we think we were going to win that game? Probably
no. And to take the fully healthy Bucks minus, in our opinion, the MVP of the league right now, Joel Embiid, Seth Curry goes down late. And on the second half of a back-to-back, to take a fully healthy Bucks team to overtime and literally take them to the limit, they need a Giannis ugly 3 when he couldn't hit one all night long. He kept chucking them up. He finally gets one to drop in overtime. Drew Holiday gets one to drop in the corner in overtime, and that kind of just wrote the ending of that book. So, Mark, talk to me about last night. Just what were your overall feelings at the end? I know moral victories, we don't like them, but they are kind of a thing in circumstances like this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had 7 dudes scoring double figures, so you did what you had to do in terms of like everyone pitching in a little bit. But some of that pitching in was, as you said, really inefficient. When Tobias Harris shoots the way he does, which is 8 for 23, 1 for 4 from 3, and then Seth Curry 4 for 11, 2 for 8 from 3. Which, by the way, I'm perfectly fine with Seth Curry shooting 8 threes. If he makes 2, that'll happen some games. Other games he'll make 5 of those. So, and I think that proves when you have guys that are at least willing to shoot it from 3. Danny Green shot 14 of them. When you have at least guys willing to shoot it from 3, even without Joel Embiid, even with some of our best players having not great games, we were able to hang with a team that I think is top 5 in the NBA. So obviously there's little things you change and we win that game, and it's more than a moral victory. So, I mean, it's hard. Like you said, it's a moral victory, but because of how close we were winning it, it almost doesn't feel like one. But yeah, people were yelling at us because we were being negative yesterday on the show. So I didn't think we were going to keep it close at all. So at least we had a fun night of basketball to watch. Definitely got frustrated when Giannis took a seat on our court when we have the MVP sitting on the bench in loafers. Yeah. But I mean, hey, Joel would do the same in Milwaukee, I'm sure. But whatever, I'm sure we'll pay him back for that later on down the line.
I just feel like you need to know who Joel Embiid is, and you need to know that he's not going to forget that. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, whether it's in the regular season and he's back playing in Milwaukee, or if it's in a postseason 7-game series and one of the games in Milwaukee and we put them away, I guarantee you Joel Embiid gets Giannis back for that one. It didn't sit right with me at all. Especially because, and you know, that's something we're going to get into as the show goes on. It's Ben Simmons, his overall play, his defensive play, especially in the first half against Giannis. You know what? Let's just do it now, guys. He flat out bothered Giannis for a majority of this game. He got to do. How many times did we see Giannis run baseline, try to post up Simmons baseline, couldn't get it. He'd fade away, jump like he's going for a shot, and he just didn't have enough confidence. He tried to pass it. Sometimes there was an open player in the dunker spot for a layup or a dunk. Other times the Sixers forced a turnover off of it. Every time he tried to drive and Simmons didn't give him any leadway, he backed out. He either forced a turnover, and I see all these Bucks fans on social media on Twitter saying like, "Oh, my defensive player of the year." It's like Giannis sipping the milkshake or whatever, and it's defensive player of the year, 32, 15, and 5. Well, just so you guys know, against Ben, he was 2 of 8 from the field for 4 points and 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers or something like that when guarded by Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want to hear anything about Ben Simmons' defensive play last night. So if you guys want to give me your quick thoughts on that, because then I want to transition to his offensive play.
Yeah. Giannis had a good game in terms of, if you look at that line. He got a lot of buckets off just live ball turnovers. Sixers turned the ball over in bad situations where, like Jason Blevin calls it, a pick six, where they steal it. Obviously, leads to a wide open dunk. So he was able, in the beginning, he was struggling and he looked cold-footed, but once he got out in transition, he kind of sort of found his way, and it turned out to be a good game. Don't get me wrong, he played well. He didn't play well against Ben, and he made a really bad mistake by sitting on the court.
Sure. And Mark, that's one of the things we touched on yesterday was, can the Sixers limit turnovers against this Bucks team and not give them transition points? Definitely didn't do that. Ben had 7 turnovers himself. And a lot of people are focusing on his lack of scoring yesterday. He didn't take enough shots. He wasn't aggressive enough. And that's what's going to happen against Milwaukee and so on and so forth. Fine. You know what? It's kind of a fair critic. You need him more without Embiid. I get it. But given the circumstances of the back-to-back and everything like that, the part that, I was more bothered with was his 7 turnovers. I think that changed the game from Ben's offensive standpoint more than him as a lack of scoring changed the game. So talk to me about Ben's play last night.
Yeah, he was excellent on defense. In the past, he hasn't been excellent on Giannis defensively, and Joel has actually been our best option. So going forward in the playoffs, watching how, or in games going forward against Milwaukee, watching how he was able to body Giannis for the first half at least and really, really give him a lot of trouble. It definitely gives you hope going forward that we have 2 or 3 guys who can reliably cover Giannis if we need them to. So that's definitely going to be important going forward. Pretty much everything in terms of how I look at this team and the additions that I want to make, and how I look at, even going back to the hot button topic, Kyle Lowry, every trade target I am looking at, I'm basically evaluating on a standpoint of Bucks, Nets, Lakers. How does this player help us against the Bucks, Nets, or Lakers? So that goes to show you how much I value where the Bucks are at in terms of our competition, and to know that we have 3 guys to guard their best guy. Because Tobias actually, at moments, was able to hang with them, but in the overtime, Tobias was getting absolutely pushed around and blown by. But that'll happen.
Yeah,
that'll happen. Giannis is a top 3, top 5 player in the world, so that's going to happen just as long as you can slow him down, and we have 3 dudes who can slow him down. So that's going to be huge going forward. Hopefully, we have that answer for Harden, Kyrie, and KD too. I don't see it.
Right. You got to remember, it took an overtime period for him to get to 32. And in that overtime period, he hit a 3. He probably had 7 or 9 points in that overtime period. So in regulation, the Sixers bothered him. And I think when we're talking about moral victories here, I think that was the most impressive thing. And that's one thing we spoke on yesterday was, Ben is a great defender. In my mind, he's the defensive player of the year. But Giannis is just too much body, too much size, too much to throw at Ben, even though he's 6'10" with a lot of length. Giannis is just too much length. Ben, I don't know if it's been the weight room over the past year or so, or whatever it was. He gave Giannis a great fight. Like I said, 2 of 8 from the field. So talking of moral victories, that's another body to where, now when you face them again, or you face them in a series with Joel and Ben healthy, it's some possessions, Joel can give them fits. Other possessions, Ben can give him fits. And as you alluded to, Mark, if Toby's not dead in overtime of a back-to-back, he's even a body that you can throw on Giannis at times. Not saying Giannis isn't going to get his. He's going to. But in a 7-game series, I think there's a night here and there where you can effectively slow him down a lot in a regulation game. So that's definitely one of the moral victories I took away from last night. What else do I have here for you guys? Shake Milton. Let's go there for a second. Me and Mark talked on it yesterday, so Gim, we'll start with you here. And, I tweeted it during the game, and he ended up hitting like a 3 late in the end of the 4th or overtime, whatever it was. And then he got a bucket right after I tweeted it. He ended up with 7 of 15 from the field, 15 points. Didn't seem like that. He just didn't have a great game, and I kind of tweeted after we talked about it yesterday, are people ready to have a conversation about Shake? Not that I'm not hopeful that Shake can or won't turn it around. I think he's capable of it. He just, Mark, you touched on yesterday his confidence level and the way he's shooting the ball, especially from deep. And we continued to see it last night. It's like something's really, really wrong, I think. And again, 15 points on almost 50% shooting wouldn't scream that at all against the Bucks. But it wasn't a comfortable 15. It didn't seem like 15. Didn't change the game, him getting 15 off the bench. So, again, what do you think about Shake and why? I guess my main point is we kill everyone else when they have a bad game or 2, right? Not just bench. If Ben goes on a stretch, he gets murdered. If Toby wasn't playing well, he gets murdered. Worst contract the Sixers have ever given out besides Al Horford, right? Steph Curry, Danny Green, they get killed when they're not shooting well. Why does Shake Milton, and I get it, he's a bench player for a reason, but why does he get a pass and not get blasted when he's not playing well?
I told you yesterday.
Tell me again.
He reminds the process guys of a process player.
Well, you mean the people that were right? You mean the process people that were right?
Process. Listen, I'll say this, Mark, and I agree with you because you get the process is a success because you got Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons out of it, but the process is not a complete success unless it translates a championship.
That's the point, yeah. But that's not. I don't even necessarily agree with that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, you got to win a chip if you don't win a chip with the core you have now. When are we winning a chip in this city?
Oh yeah, I mean it's very hard to win championships.
No, I get that.
That's the reason that there's like 5 or 6 franchises that have done it in like 3 decades. It's very hard.
I know it's very hard, but my point is,
I guess my point is, if we make the finals 2 times out of the next 3 years, and that's my point. You can, if you successfully contend for a really long time and you don't break through, there's no scientific equation that leads to a title.
Well, but I guess what I mean is, if you can't get out of the second round or Eastern Conference Finals, then it's not a success.
For sure.
All right, go ahead, Gint. I know you had to get your little process jab in there.
No. Because I use that term because like those fans love those kind of guys. We talked about it with Scotty. And I think he reminds them of the KJ McDaniels and Robert Covingtons and the guys that those people loved. And that's not a shot at them because, like, those were, like, fun times to watch. Like, so many people come in and out and, like, see who could do what. And a lot of them turned out to be really good. Like, Christian Wood turned into this really good player. Jeremy Grant turned into a 25-point scorer. So, like, that's just the kind of term I use. But I really do think the nostalgia of a late second-round pick who turned out to be a good player. Shake Milton is a good player.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Is that a process thing, or is that just a Philadelphia fan, that annoying mindset of the underdog, late round picks? Like, because you know how that is, too.
In a sense, but you see it a lot everywhere. Like Alex Caruso, like those kind of players just get that kind of buzz. But to go with Shake's like struggles, like you said, the stat line didn't scream struggle last night, but you were right when you tweeted. It was like, do you guys want to have this conversation? I'm starting to really think Shake needs to play off the ball. And they do need to bring it because you know me, I wasn't on the board. We need a backup point guard. I didn't think we needed DeLon Wright. I didn't think we needed George Hill, but I'm starting to think Shake may need to come off the ball and just alleviate some of the pressure on him. Like it's hard to initiate an offense right away and just off a pick and roll immediately down the court. You know what I mean? So
sure,
if he gets movement and he's able to do something.
Abe is our boy here, and we're gonna have him on the show sometime. And I get this. Anybody loves an underdog player success story. But second round pick isn't necessarily an underdog.
Well, he was 54.
And if that's the case, why does everyone hate Tom Brady?
I'm not
well, if everyone likes an underdog story, why is everyone hate Tom
stop
Brady?
You stop being an underdog story and you're the only person who wins repeatedly. He was an underdog story for sure. But I guess I wasn't as negative watching Shake Milton yesterday. He definitely had stretches where he disappeared, and that's Shake Milton. And I've said that since last year when people got too high on him. So I'm not someone who's absurdly high on Shake Milton. I guess I just have a pretty clear idea of what he is. And what he was one of two players that finished plus and plus minus yesterday. And I think a big part of that was I complained big time 2 nights ago in the New York game. I complained big time about him not being able to come around screens, about he wasn't as good on defense that night. Last night, he seemed really locked in on the defensive end. I don't really know if he's forced any. He's had one steal, but I just thought in general watching him, he seemed locked in. And I think that was a big part of why he was plus 17 when our next best person was Tony Bradley at a plus 8. Everyone else in our lineup was minus. So not that plus minus is some end-all, be-all stat, but I just don't know if I think that this game is the correct time to have like a referendum on Shake Milton.
No, I guess
yesterday was. After the Knick game, it definitely was.
Sure. Like it just didn't feel like I looked at the stat line. I thought it was wrong. I'm like, 15 points. Where the hell did he get 15 points from? But I guess my point is, you have a clear mind of this is your idea of Shake, and that's fine and that's fair. I guess my issue with when I say is everyone ready to have a conversation is because everyone else outside of you, Mark, that like just Sixers Twitter, people in the comments, he's going to be okay. Shake's fine. But how do we know that you know what he is? But some people before the year, dude, our comments were filled with sixth man of the year. Doc with Shake is a 6-man candidate.
Crawford.
Yeah, dude. And
I put a $5 bet on it.
And I guess my point is also the fact that if he is what you say he is, Mark, if he's your vision of Shake Milton, then they definitely need more bench help, because that version of Shake Milton isn't enough to anchor a bench unit to a championship or a championship run. It's not. And I love this team, and I think this team can compete as is, but that's competing. They need someone who can get a bucket at any time off the bench, or a sharpshooter off the bench, or they need a couple things. We've talked about it a bunch, but they need Shake right now isn't that guy. If Shake was averaging 15, 16 points off the bench, and I know that's kind of a lot to ask, but with all that hype that was surrounding him, I was like, if he can get to 15, 16 off the bench, and I guess a more concerning aspect is his 3-point shot right now.
Well,
that is concerning, man. He hasn't. I know he hit one late in the game last night, but outside of that, he hasn't hit one in a very long time. And if he does, he's like 1 of 4 on the night, 1 of 5 on the night. Like, it's rough, dude. And the form looks off, as you talked about. So I don't know.
He went 1 for 3 last night. I don't even remember the 3, to be honest. But Matisse, I think we should be talking about him instead of Shake a little bit in terms of he played 20 minutes last night. You won't find many people that are bigger on Matisse Thybulle than I am, but I always say it. He just has to be willing. You can't play for 20 minutes and shoot 3 times. It just can't happen. Like, it's the reason why he can't play more than 20 minutes ever, really. And it's why Doc didn't play him for the entire fourth quarter the other night. And it's just the fact that you're playing 20 minutes and you're putting up 0 points with 3 rebounds and 1 assist. I get it. He's great on defense. Obviously, he's like a top 10 defensive wing in the world. But I think I always say if Matisse Thybulle's below average and slightly willing to shoot from 3, he's an NBA starter. That's all he has to do. He has to be slightly willing. But he hasn't shown that. In some games he does, but more often than not, it's like last night where it's a complete net neutral on offense or a negative, and it's not enough at all.
Yeah. I agree in a sense with he needs to be that guy. Like, and last night's only a small example because Joel's played the whole season, but I think getting shots for a guy like Matisse is going to be so difficult without Joel in the lineup, just predicated off double teams. And like, when you double a guy, someone has to be left open. So more likely than not, when Matisse is on the floor, unless for some reason, I guess Ben will be on the floor with him at times, he is going to be the worst shooter on the floor. So I think he'll get a lot of wide open looks with Joel. Now, without him, that's when you see, like you said, where he on the offensive end is just around. You know what I mean? It is. I do agree with everything you just said. I wish he was Mikal Bridges, huh? Like that's the only thing I can think of.
How about we had him and Mikal Bridges?
Yeah, the issue is we wouldn't even need him to take his place. He should have just been teammates with him. That's the worst part, dude. The thing with Matisse is, look, he's everyone's favorite. Like, he's just like a likable dude. Like, everyone loves him. There's a freaking mural for him now in the city. And don't get me wrong, he's been what?
People just get things in this movie, man. I know it's only a mural.
And dude, and I like Shake a lot. I agree with you guys. And I have had those discussions, Mark, where if he was just league average, you say a little below average and willing, that's fair. He would be a starter with his defensive abilities. One thing that he cannot do, like, he is literally 3-and-D. He cannot put the ball on the floor and try to do anything around the rim. It is ugly when it happens, dude. The same with Danny Green. So, yeah. And listen, Danny Green, there's no negatives to come with. There was one negative takeaway early in the game with Danny Green. He tried to put the ball on the floor and shoot over Giannis early in the first quarter. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? But Danny Green had 6 threes last night. You know, not much to complain about on that front last night. A negative takeaway from last night, Seth does go down with an ankle sprain. How serious, how long that injury is going to linger, I don't know. But I will say this, not really the same player, but as far as spacing and 3-pointers, hey, Detroit, here's 2 seconds from Wayne, okay? Here's next year's and the year after that second. Can I have Wayne Ellington, please? Because I need him now. Because then Matisse can start and Wayne can come off the bench and spread the floor and shoot and hit some threes in place of Seth. Not to mention he's a guy I would want if Seth was healthy. You need him now, dude. So that, especially with Joel being out, it is going to get real interesting now what life is going to be like without Joel and Seth Curry on the floor, especially with this road trip coming up after the Kings at home.
Bro, there's only 7 days till the trade deadline.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't.
And someone reported earlier, I think it Woj, in an article in his podcast. Apparently, a lot of the GMs are in Indy this weekend for the tournament, so they'll be back in their offices on Monday. So that's a few more days of nothing.
But it could also mean that they could get together in Indy.
Sure.
That could be illegal. They could break the law to do it. But if you gotta get Wayne Ellington to Philly, you gotta get Wayne Ellington to Philly. I don't care how many laws you gotta break. Now, I'm not even that. I haven't even been like I haven't been crazy about this whole Wayne Ellington, JJ Redick, any of these shooters, because like I said before, every move we make, I view through a kaleidoscope of the Nets, the Bucks, and the Lakers, and I just don't know if Wayne Ellington can play in the playoffs versus those guys. It feels like he'll get played off on defense.
See, no, and I get what you're saying, but Gint literally said the same words to me last week, And my argument to that is you're looking at it through the microscope of because when JJ would get killed on defense against Jaylen Brown or Tatum in the series, JJ was a starter. Wayne will be coming off the bench. So when you play Brooklyn and you see TLC check into the game, Wayne, get in, go knock down something. He's not going to be running against James Harden or Kyrie.
How much you have to think this lineup's going to shrink to 8 people.
Yeah, that locks you in. That locks you in.
You have Shake, you have Dwight. There's one spot left. Now you have Matisse still. So, and you have to think someone better than Wayne Ellington's going to come here at this deadline, right? And that Wayne Ellington isn't going to be the only piece.
I don't think it's going to be 8 people, bro. I think it's going to be more.
I think it'll probably be like 9. I know you guys disagree with this. I think Furkan's probably going to be playing in the playoffs.
Furkan, I don't see how.
As of right now, he's going to, yes.
Yeah,
now, unless they brought in 2 sharpshooters that are better on defense, but his defensive play has gotten a little better. The thing is, I just need to keep seeing consistency. And hey, dude knocked down a big time 3 last night. He tipped my cap right now. I have nothing negative to say about him right now. He did follow that up with an air ball to start off overtime, but then he followed the air ball up with a big 3 to tie it in overtime. So it's again, what do we keep talking about? Consistency, man. And if he can give you consistent shooting, sure. And he's not a small dude. But that's what it's going to all be about. What else do we want to touch on with this Milwaukee game? Toby had a down game, 8 of 23. Again, that's the main thing. And I don't want to make excuses, but it's like, I know some people say, I don't want to make excuses. Okay. I'll make the excuse for you then. They were tired, guys. Their legs, they were gone. I think that's clear as day that the legs were gone in the fourth quarter and overtime, and they still forced a healthy Bucks team to overtime, minus Joel and Seth down the stretch. Okay? So that I'll make the excuse for everyone that they don't want to make. And then lastly, I guess we can have the conversation about Mike Scott, because I see the comment up here. This is your boy, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Michael Scott, I'm done with him. I'm warming up the car and taking this man to the airport. Also, why is Tony Bradley not getting any time late, and instead we have the moving screen machine, the White out there? Look, I get the White can be frustrating.
Mine last night.
Yeah, I would like to see one less mid-range jumper come out of the White, and one less moving screen. But I like the first part of his comment, your boy's comment. The second part, there's no way in hell I want to see Tony Bradley down the stretch of the game.
I think the positivity on Dwight Howard is some of the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen on Twitter.com. Like, I get that he's putting up points and rebounds. People need to pay attention and watch how many dumb fouls and how many dumb moving screens and how much he's slowing down our offense, how little optionality he brings to your offense, how he's locked into one spot on the floor.
That's fine.
I think 29 minutes of Dwight Howard's too much.
That's fine.
It's too much.
That's fine. Tony Bradley brings you nothing.
I don't necessarily like Tony Bradley. I think Tony Bradley just being a body out there who's not standing in one spot and not doing some of the dumbest stuff ever. I'd probably rather that. This is why people are looking for a sharpshooter like Wayne Ellington. I'm looking for a stiff that can shoot that's not Dwight Howard. Because watching Dwight Howard play basketball has taken years off my life. And then having to go on Twitter and see people act like he was having some phenomenal game last night. We were minus 13 in the minutes he played. He was the only player that was below a minus 7. Tony Bradley was a plus. I know that plus minus isn't the end all be all. I get it. He puts up fun points and rebounds numbers. He has fun blocks. They play the Superman music at the Wells Fargo Center. He used to be good 12 years ago. People know his name. I get it. He's not good, and he's not a good backup center. I know someone in the comments said yesterday, name 5 better backup centers. I went on in the first 10 teams I looked at, I would have rather had a center from their team in our situation. Dwight Howard might be good in a different situation. If you plugged him into Denver, where they have all these little guards who can run around and shoot, and their wings are shooters, you can probably plug Dwight Howard in there. With the Lakers, Dwight Howard made a lot of sense. With Ben Simmons on the floor, especially, and like Matt said, we don't have Joel Embiid. It's not as big of a problem with Joel Embiid. I get that because you can play Dwight 15 minutes, and they don't have to be with Ben Simmons. But when Ben Simmons is on the floor with Dwight Howard, not to mention if Matisse is out there, our offense is unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's unwatchable.
But no, I guess my whole point is, well, I'm a little higher on Dwight than you are. I get what you're saying about the offense, especially when those guys are out there with them. The offense can get very, very stale with Ben Matisse, especially if Mike Scott's out there at the 4. I totally get it. But my point is with the comment, it's Tony Bradley or Dwight. I'm taking Dwight 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. It's not really that close in my opinion. Tony Bradley brings you nothing. Except an occasional tip in at the rim.
That's why I don't get why a move wasn't made. And it makes me – I doubt he wasn't not on the phone trying to figure out something. But once you knew this stretch was coming without Joel and you knew this was who we were going to play, I was just genuinely surprised. And you guys brought up the show, Paul, before we were talking about Paul Reed. Like, you are right. 29 minutes per game is not going to fly with Dwight Howard, especially the road trip that we're going on. And I don't like Tony Bradley at all. I don't think he's very good. I understand the game against Chicago, like whatever. But, like, you knew what was coming. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, the season's over. Like, we don't have – but, like, I was genuinely surprised. Like, DeMarcus Cousins, Larry Nance. Like, you hear all these names. Thank God it wasn't PJ Tucker. I'm like happy Milwaukee.
Can we hold on? After we can talk about Mike Scott for a second, can we just they gave up 2 first-rounders for PJ Tucker?
No, not really.
Yeah,
not really.
First-round picks.
What is it?
So they gave up their 2021 and their 2023 first, but the I'm drawing up. Houston already had Milwaukee's 2022 first, so they basically got their 2021 first and they swapped 2022 for 2023.
Okay. Still.
You're basically just giving up the 28th pick of the draft for PJ Tucker. It's fine.
But I understand the frustrations with Dwight on offense, and I think you knew coming into the season what you were going to get out of Dwight, which is also why I think Furkan's going to always going to play on the second unit when Dwight's there, because he just runs off his screens nonstop, and he's just one of those guys that, like JJ and kind of almost like Seth, just not nearly as good. He's just a guy that can come off screens, catch the ball, make plays, more like just shoot off screens. But I do think Dwight is a top 5 backup center in the NBA. I tried to search like backup centers in the NBA and I couldn't even think.
I'll pull up a depth chart if you want to.
I would
dude. Because I'll be honest with you, if he is or not, I would
want young guys. If you say the Big O who Atlanta got, I like
Onyeka Okongwu.
Yeah, I love him, but he hasn't shown anything.
I'm not even counting guys like that. No.
Yeah, but I know frustrations, and I know especially not shooting the ball, especially because you just see all these big men letting it fly at this point. So
yeah, again, it's more about fit than anything.
Sure, I get it, but when it comes to those two, let's talk about the first guy in that comment. Why Mark searches up the backups, Mike Scott. We had a fun conversation before we went live here. Goodbye. I'm with you, Joe. I'll take the road trip with you. Goodbye, dude. It was a fun little it was a fun time. He's a fun guy to like. The videos of him having water pistol fights with kids, and he's riling up Eagles fans and fighting Eagles fans at a tailgate, and he's sipping someone's Jack and Coke when he falls into the stands, and he's that tough guy off the bench. I get it. He was good here 1 year. 1 year. When Jimmy was here. That was it. He is a waste of a body out there right now for the Sixers. And the issue is he's not shy to let it fly. Okay? He's not. He took 5 shots last night. How many minutes did he play? Do you have that up or do I need to find it?
I don't have it up, but
hold on.
Just to get it started, I'm only 4 in, but I'll take Tice or Robert Williams, whoever you're saying is not the starter in Boston, over Dwight. I'll take Nick Claxton from Brooklyn over Dwight. He's been fantastic over the past 2 or 3 weeks. He's going to be a problem.
I won't take either of Boston's over Dwight Howard.
They're both better. I mean, no, I just think they're both better per minute on a worse team.
They're not. And Tice is just as much of an idiot with fouls than Dwight Howard.
Tice can shoot.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, that's all you need to be able to shoot if you're playing 15 minutes with Ben Simmons.
One more thing. Mike Scott played 10 minutes last night. He took 5 shots. He took 5 shots in 10 minutes. You know how many he made, Gint?
Come on, man.
0.
I understand.
0.
You see how stagnant we were last night? Like, someone had to shoot the ball at some point.
Not him. Not
That
keep
was
swinging, bro. And because it wasn't like he was running down the shot clock and he had to put up a 3. He would just get a 3. Oh, I'm open, letting it fly. No, I'm over it, dude. I am over it. It's not. Abe, it is not borderline useless, my friend. It is utterly, completely useless. Hold on. I'm not done looking up. I'm not done looking at his stats.
Come on, man. You're
Yo, hold on. 0 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. He can't play a lick of damn defense. And you're telling me he's not useless.
No. Listen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not sitting here saying Mike Scott's this really good player, but I think last night you were being really harsh on him.
He took 5 shots in 10 minutes in a winnable game.
I'd have to go back and look at his shot chart and when it was in the shot clock. But dude, you can't tell me last night that wasn't some of the most stagnant offense in NBA history.
That's fine.
I have a comment real quick.
I'll continue with
unrelated, so I'll sit out.
I'll continue with
go
the
ahead,
stagnantness over
Daniel,
Mike Scott chucking from 3.
Daniel Tice, is this bad that we're going to act like that? Daniel Tice is playing 6 more minutes per game. He's scoring more points per game. He's having the same amount of rebounds. He's better on defense, on-off, on a worse team. And he's shooting 36% from 3, making a 3 per game, shooting 70% from the foul line. That's not even close. I'm telling you, if you ask 30 GMs, 30 of them would tell you that they'd rather have Daniel Tice than Dwight Howard. It's not even a question.
I think Sixers fans hate Daniel Tice, which I don't like. They
love Dwight Howard. I have never seen anything like the way that the Sixers fan base right now is overrating Dwight Howard. It is absolutely insane.
To have some fun with you, I have never seen someone say they wouldn't trade Tyrese Maxey for Kyle Lowry, but
it's not really that simple. But it's not that simple. But it's more about the fact that Danny Green took 14 threes last night. We need Danny Green. It's not. If it was just Tyrese Maxey, I would trade Kyle. I would trade for Kyle Lowry.
Oh, we would have won last night with Kyle Lowry.
Not without Danny Green. Not without Danny Green, we wouldn't have. I think he's really important to the team.
I like Danny Green. You know that that's the only trade I would move him for.
Dude,
Will Barton, you'd have to move him for the money. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do it.
You really talk about the tale of 2 nights, dude. Though, like he was 1 for 10.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's what I told you when you were trolling yesterday in the comments. He's going to be very hot and cold. The cold nights, you want him out of the city. The hot nights, you'll love him. But yeah, again, look, dude.
That went everywhere, dude.
We agree on a lot of things.
All right, let me ask you this.
Right.
Wendell Carter's better too, by the way.
Who?
Wendell Carter. So is Luke Cornett.
He doesn't start?
No. The Bulls are dumb. They're starting Thad Young at center.
Oh, jeez. No, that's just there. Yeah, Wendell Carter's much better. But,
yeah.
All right, so we talk about Mike Scott, this, that.
Sure.
So, Mark, this is more predicated towards you because I know you're talking about your Dwight not really likable. Would you rather a small ball Mike Scott lineup than Dwight Howard 29 minutes per game?
I'd rather see you out there again. No, I'm joking. I'd rather see Paul Reed. I want to see Paul Reed.
That wasn't.
But it is an option.
It wasn't. That wasn't my question.
Hold on, Abe. No, we're all positive. We said the same things for the first 10 minutes of the show. They took him to the wire without Embiid. Seth goes down, tired legs, second half of back-to-back. I'm fully impressed. I don't care what Bucks fans say. I come away with that, just as confident, almost as confident as if they would have pulled it off in overtime. Obviously, it would have been a lot sweeter if they did, but I'm still confident. We're just talking about, Mike Scott. So it's very easy to get negative when you're talking about Mike Scott. But go ahead, Mark.
And for me, Dwight Howard, yeah. I'm super positive about this whole team besides Dwight Howard and Mike Scott. That's basically what it comes down to. I just want I want a small ball 4 or 5 to take minutes from at least one of Dwight or Mike Scott in the playoffs, and I don't want to have to see either in the playoffs. It's basically what it comes down to.
Well, I can agree with you a little bit there, but I don't want to see Mike Scott in the playoffs. Dwight is going to be a matchup issue I feel like in the playoffs, depending on who we play. So I don't know how many minutes, especially with Embiid.
Oh, I thought you would match up for the other team.
No. Dwight might only get around 10 minutes a game in the playoffs, which that is fine with me. Energy off the bench, catch a lob or two, block a shot, pick up 3 fouls, and bruise up the other team. Go stone cold stunner Giannis in a series, get it suspended. I don't care what you got.
It's hard for me to talk shit on Dwight Howard when he's dropping WWE references.
But I cannot have the hive on the floor in a playoff series. I can't do it. I can't
wait till he hits another game winner in the playoffs, dude.
Hey man, TJ McConnell had his moment in the playoffs. He won us a game.
We don't say that name in here.
Oh my god, the hate for TJ McConnell. Oh my god.
You just like him because your friends met him.
I like him because he's like, by the way, he wants to talk about top 5 backups in the league at their position.
No, he is not.
TJ McConnell has been excellent for that backup point guard for Indiana. The Pacers have been missing Karis LeVert for the last month and a half. They just got him back. They lost Oladipo at the trade when they traded for LeVert. They've been missing they're right around 500. They're the Indiana Pacers.
You can't tell me he's a top 5 backup point guard in the NBA.
He's definitely top 10. It's not even close that he's top 10. Top 5 could be stretching it.
I'll tell you this. I'm getting on Shake Milton all show. I will take Shake Milton 399 days, 365 days of the year. What?
I don't think Shake Milton's a point guard, really.
Oh, he's playing a point guard role.
That's fair. If you want to count him as a point guard, I'll take Shake over TJ. But, I mean, TJ's averaging 7-7 and 2 steals. Like, 2 steals per game. He broke the steals record, 2 weeks ago. Like, he's a really nice player as a backup point guard.
He's just not top 10.
I think he's been top 10 this year for sure. But Ben Simmons, he was never going to fit with Ben Simmons.
I can live with that comment. I can't live with the past being top 10.
I'm not saying we should have kept him or anything.
He has the most punchable face I've ever seen in my life.
I love him. I
cannot get back on the sidelines with your pom poms, TJ. And he definitely had pictures of Brett with how much he played under Brett Brown. I couldn't freaking believe
he didn't play enough.
Didn't play enough.
He didn't play enough.
What?
He didn't play enough. I would have rather him last year than Raul Neto.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I would rather all three of us than Raul Neto.
We need to move on. God damn it. I'm going to start screaming about TJ McConnell.
All right, well, before we get to our bracket, let's just look at this weekend. They had the Kings at home on Saturday night, and then they traveled to New York to play the Knicks again on Sunday night. So another back-to-back, and then they go on that West Coast stand with the Warriors, the Lakers, the Clippers, Denver, and then they have Cleveland. And, it could get really ugly real quick, or Ben and Tobias can keep this ship afloat. Morey makes a move or two. Again, you're right. That is literally in a week, the trade deadline is. So we're getting down to that wire. Next week, we'll definitely be talking about trades more. Hopefully, we have some actual trades to discuss. Seriously. But, guys, just looking at it as a pair, we're not going to I haven't done anything to break down the games or look at any numbers or anything. But how do you think the Sixers fare this weekend? They just beat the Knicks in a tough game. Can they beat the Knicks twice in 1 week? Can they beat them on the road? Can they take care of business at home and not drop 2 in a row again at home versus Sacramento? Again, I'll start with you. Just record-wise, style of play. How do you think the Sixers take care of business this weekend?
They're not going to go 2-0, I don't think, sadly. I think Sacramento is really bad.
Okay, can I throw this in there then for you? Include Golden State next week. I know that's on the road trip, but include them because they're not and Steph just got hurt last night. I don't know how bad it is, but they're not the Lakers or the Clippers or Denver. Include 2. Include Golden State, the Knicks, and Sacramento. Can they take 2 of the next 3? That's the biggest thing in my opinion.
Especially if Steph doesn't play. That team is drastically bad without Steph.
Yeah, I just think taking 2 of those next 3 before you get to the Lakers, Clippers, and Denver is really important.
I definitely think they'll beat Sacramento. Sacramento has the worst defense ever in basketball history. That Knicks game is going to be tough, I think. It's tough to beat a team twice in 1 week.
Unless Toby takes it personal again.
But it also about that Knicks game, it's kind of maybe they should have won that game probably. So it almost feels like maybe they got that out of the way where it's we might just play way better in this game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we stole one, so maybe we
exactly
get this one. No, yeah, I like that. I definitely think they'll take 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3 would be an absolute win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, do you guys get the vibes of maybe Tobias and Ben don't like one of them doesn't play in the back-to-back? Like, dude, they logged probably almost 80 minutes in the last.
Ben looked exhausted.
That's
I never seen him like that.
But they do have 2 nights off now. They get an extra night of rest.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go 2 out of 3 for sure. I'll take that.
I think it's really important you win that first one.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I just want everyone to know down here at the bottom of the comments, if you are just checking in, we are keeping the faith. We were very high on last night's game to start the show. We're just talking about with Seth being out, Joel still out. What can they do now? We were just making fun of Mike Scott. So again, you're saying you think they can get 2 of the next 3?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, Mark, what do you think of the next 3? Kings at home, Knicks on the road, Warriors on the road.
It's just important we win that first one, so it feels like house money with the next 2. Definitely want to beat the Kings, like Matt said. Their defense has been terrible. They've been playing awful basketball as of late too. So that's the really important one that I want to see win. Even if they go 1-2, I would like to see them beat the Kings. But yeah, I think that we have a chance to beat the Knicks because, like I said, they might have had that game where they held us to what they were going to hold us to. So I would like to see them get both wins this weekend, let alone 2 out of the next 3. I think they absolutely will. I think they'll be favored in both games. I think they'll probably be the favorite in both games. Sure. So I'll say they go 2-0 next 2 games. How about that?
I like it a lot. And then, if you win those 2 and then you probably have 2 days off or maybe just Monday off. I think they play
whatever it is
against Golden State. What's the word on Seth? Brian says they haven't come out with anything today. They just said last night it was an ankle sprain. I don't think they gave a timetable on how long, how serious of a sprain it is. Just sucks that, especially with Joel out. Seth, Mark and I were talking about the other night against the Knicks. Seth kind of picked that team up and changed the game and dropped 20. And, now he's becoming more willing to shoot. He shot 8 threes last night before getting hurt. And I get what he was trying to do on the fast break. I get it. But I wish he just would have went up strong with it and see what happens.
He would have got that thing beat up.
If your shit gets thrown off the glass, it gets thrown off. Would you rather shit get thrown off the glass, or would you rather him twist 2 ankles and have an ankle?
I don't think he intended on twisting 2 ankles. He tried to.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Go up strong, Seth. Not to mention, we had 8 free throws the entire game, so we're getting to the line.
Real quick, what did I comment yesterday about the Bucks?
I can't remember.
Dante DiVincenzo is a problem.
Dude, you see how I don't want to say what.
Listen, maybe if we don't leave him open for 3-3.
No, he was abysmal in. Well, first of all, he was abysmal in the last defensive possession. That was like,
I don't know what that was.
What the play was there, and then in overtime, they literally took him off the court. He was playing so bad.
Yeah.
Did you see him in the post game?
But he still dropped like 18. The Villanova jacket. Yeah.
No, I was talking about how his eyes were looking in that post game, but he looked like he had a good time after the game. Dante DiVincenzo, the Michael Jordan of Delaware. He's from the same town I'm from, so shouts out to Dante DiVincenzo. I would imagine him on the Sixers, even like you talk about McCall Bridges. I know we didn't trade we didn't trade Dante DiVincenzo, but
what town are you from?
Huh? I'm a born and raised Delawarean. I don't know what you're talking about.
Liar.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not lying. I was born in Delaware.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Is Willard telling me not to say shit?
I think that was me. I think I probably cursed.
I'm
talking about Dante DiVincenzo's high eyes. So, I haven't heard Matt McGinty's bracket thoughts too much.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah,
I want to focus on the Rutgers truther over there, Matt McGinty.
Dude,
sell me on it. I have him in the Sweet 16. Sell me on it,
bro. I love Rutgers. So a little background. I took like every single class I had at Kutztown with a kid who's bleeds Rutgers red. Loves them. Lives right next to him.
Do I know?
Brandon Cole, you might know. Dude, loves them. So, and I was really big in Penn State when they got the 3 guys from Roman Catholic, and we would watch the games all the time, and like I fell in love with Ron Harper Jr. And Geo Baker's really good. Miles Johnson. I really like Rutgers. They bring back almost everyone from last year. They really had a very high expectation going into the season. I'm pretty sure preseason rankings, they were in like the top 11 or almost higher. So I like them. I definitely like them round one. Going to the Sweet 16 may not happen, but I like them, dude. Like I said, I took them to the Sweet 16, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's mainly more, again, like I wish UConn was the 7 in that region, but I just don't believe in Houston. So I'm riding with you. I believe in you on Rutgers.
You know who? Yeah. Whoa. Wait. What? You don't like UConn?
No, I do. I'm saying, like, I wish that they were the 7 seed to Houston's 2. I would have picked UConn over Houston with no thought. Like, it would have been easy.
I took UConn to go to the Sweet 16 as well.
Yeah, I just like Bama too much. Wow. I love Bama.
I love.
So, Mark, I've decided I'm pulling the trigger on both upsets in the West.
Which ones?
I'm taking Santa Barbara versus Ohio in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
I was debating, like, does both of it do both come through? Like, because I don't like Creighton at all. And I think Virginia with the COVID break, and, I didn't even know this, that they don't even get to Indy till Friday, have to go through 2 positive COVID tests and then play on Saturday. They haven't practiced.
Wait, what happens if they don't pass?
Then they just Ohio moves on.
Yeah.
Yo, Obama had Ohio go to the Sweet 16.
Obama picked 4-1 seeds. I love Barack Obama. I'm a Barrio man. But come on, give me a 2 seed. Give me a 3 seed, Barrio.
So I agree with you guys on Rutgers. I'm pulling the trigger on UCSB, Santa Barbara, and Ohio. And I'm also, I think I'm taking LSU in the second round over Michigan.
I took LSU in the second round as well.
It's not great that we all have LSU going.
I know.
Here, but, the Santa Barbara pick is like starting to scare me. Everyone I see in Santa Barbara. John Rothstein's podcast, I think, turned everyone's thoughts the other way. He started.
Same with Oregon.
Bro,
everyone likes Oregon now.
Like, yeah, they have a transfer from Oregon State, Oregon. I was like, dude, here we go.
Who do you guys have it coming out of the Midwest? Because I know we talked, Mark, you had said the winner of Illinois, Oklahoma State. I have Illinois coming out of it, but I really want to take Cade to come out of it.
I'm going to stick with Illinois. I went with my gut last night. I texted Mark, I think 2 days ago. I was like, I'm still staring at this Illinois-Oklahoma State game. Like, I don't know who to pick. I'm just going to make it known now. I'm going to take Illinois. And I didn't want to take Illinois because I brought up how I'm huge on like that guard that makes that magical run. But dude, Illinois is like, I think Gonzaga is the best team in the country, but I think Illinois is second by like in the beginning of the season, it was Gonzaga, Baylor, the rest of the country. And now I think Illinois is right there at the top with Gonzaga.
So you guys want to have fun? You guys want to give out our Final Fours or no? Or Mark, are you doing that next?
I can do it here too.
Or just me and Gint can do it, and you can comment and give your picks on the tough cover.
No, I can do it, but more so just going off of Gint's comment and this comment and the thing real quick. Nobody's beating Gonzaga. I think that's probably true. But how I've been saying it is the most likely team to win this tournament is Gonzaga.
Yeah.
The second most likely team to win this tournament is the winner of Illinois-Oklahoma State. The third most likely team to win this tournament is whoever your third favorite team is. For me, and for most people, it's going to be not a 1 seed. It's going to be someone that they think they can take a chance on. For me, that's Arkansas, because I believe in Moses Moody. I think he's a top 5 pick. I think they have a couple guys. They have 11 people who have started this year. But the reason that I like Oklahoma State to beat Illinois is because I've seen so much from likely Avery Anderson and Boone down the stretch in the games that Cade either sat out or the other team focused and keyed in so hard on Cade that I've been so impressed with the other guys on Oklahoma State. I really think that they've shown in the toughest conference that I can ever remember. I can't ever remember a conference being as tough as the Big 12 was this year. And Cade Cunningham rose to the occasion countless times against pretty much every team you could rise to in that conference.
How was the Big 10 this year not tougher than the Big 12?
You think the Big 10's better
yes.
than the Big 12?
Oh, my God. We forgot.
I completely disagree.
Mark, can you drop the link in the comments?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Join our Painted Lines bracket challenge. Guys, you can compete against me, Gint, Mark, all the hosts of the shows over here, the writers, Brian Jacobs. I think everyone's joining it, so you can compete against us. And maybe we'll have a fun prize for the winner come championship weekend. But I need your opinions here, guys. So Good.
Yeah, I just I think it said that 9 teams made the bracket out of the Big Ten.
All right, you want to go through that? Because I think some of those teams absolutely stink.
I mean, I think one of them does.
I think Maryland stinks. I think Rutgers, you're higher on Rutgers than I am. I haven't gone to the Sweet 16. I shouldn't say they stink, but they struggle to score the ball for sure. I think Wisconsin's beyond terrible.
That's the only team I think it stinks out of the Big Ten is Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm struggling to even find more.
I think Michigan State's going to win first round game against BYU.
Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to win tonight.
Drop the link, Mark.
I'm an idiot. There's not a 5 o'clock hard out, by the way.
You got okay, and you guys can join it. I believe it closes at noon tomorrow.
Wait, did I not join that yet?
Yeah, I don't think you did either, idiot.
Yeah, he's an absolute bum.
I'm busy, bro. I'm busy.
You bum.
He's too busy thinking about what Winthrop's going to do to us tomorrow.
Dude, on a side note,
Guys, you got. I don't know if I'm going to remember the game,
bro. 9:57.
Yeah,
I love it. I live for this shit.
I love it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's how you know Mark doesn't drink. He doesn't drink.
That's fair.
Just cool with a 9:57 tip, dude.
That's fair.
I gotta figure out how and when I'm
gonna
going.
run through my Final Four because I got.
Yeah, me too. I have a question for you guys. Let me ask you first. Okay, Gonzaga, Bama is my left side of the bracket. My right side, I got Illinois coming out of the Midwest. Now, question for you boys. My Elite Eight is, I know it's corny because it's a 1-2, but I got Baylor, Ohio State in the South. Do I get a Big Ten rematch in the Final Four on the right side of the bracket, or does Baylor get to the Final Four?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So Baylor?
No, I don't think Baylor gets there. Oh wait, yeah. So my answer would have been yes, right?
So Ohio State?
OH.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got a Big Ten rematch, I think.
I'm starting to. I know that I just talked shit on the Big Ten. I really think Illinois and Ohio State are legitimate. I really think that those are 2 of the 5 to 6 best teams in the country. I don't think Michigan's one of the 10 best teams in the country, and I think that their run in the middle of the season was a lot of fraudulence and a lot of getting.
I think they were. No, see, I like them a lot, but losing the guard, what is it? Or losing
Isaiah Livers,
yeah, losing him's tough, dude.
I think when I look at the Big 12, I think Texas is excellent. I think they just won the Big 12. I think Oklahoma State is a Final Four team. I think Baylor can make the Final Four. Texas Tech, I'm not high on, but they're a 6 seed. Like I don't think it's crazy. I think the Big 12. I think most people think the Big 12 is better than the Big 10. I guess maybe I'm the weird one here. I feel like I've come in hearing everyone talk about how the Big 12 is the best conference in basketball.
Let me ask you this, because I'm kind of jumping around now. I think I know your thoughts on it, Mark. Do you think USC?
Yes. Whatever your question is.
To beat Kansas?
Yeah.
And beat Iowa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have both as well.
Our brackets are getting way too similar here, McGinty. I don't like this.
Really making me angry, but you have Arkansas
Yeah.
You have Arkansas winning the title.
Kid's going to be so hyped when Arkansas loses in like the third.
No, knowing my luck, they might win. They'll win by an average 15 every game. They'll go to the national game.
Be the 2018 Nova run.
Yeah, for real. But
all right, give your Final Four again.
Oh yeah, Illinois, Gonzaga, Alabama, and Ohio State.
Dude, we have the same Final Four.
I like it.
Who's your final? We're gonna have the same. Illinois and Gonzaga, and I have Illinois winning the title.
I got Gonzaga winning the title, and I know that sucks because so many people are gonna have Gonzaga. That's why I need Santa Barbara and Ohio, and I might go Georgetown. I need these to come in.
Hear my words right now, though.
Abe,
I've been missing a ton. I missed a ton of college basketball this year with just having night practice and stuff. I've just been watching more and more Florida State, and I really want them. I really think they can beat Alabama.
Wait, I got a question. Abe, where'd you get your cheesesteak from? Or is it just like a local spot by you?
That Florida State Bama matchup is going to be really tough, man.
Yeah, that is one issue I was having.
All right, fellas, off. You guys enjoy. And
we're going to be done in a few minutes.
Maybe we'll
have fun at practice, coach.
Watch. Maybe do a Sunday watch.
Yeah, if Villanova advances the first round, depending on the time they play, me, Mark, Gint, whoever wants to join, might do a Villanova live watch party here on the Painted Lines on Sunday. Later, Gint. All right, Mark. You know what? Let's save your Final Four for the tough cover, man, because that's your pod.
All right.
Give out your picks there. I don't want to spoil them for everyone. Abe, where'd you get the cheesesteak from? But anyway, right before we wrap up, guys, use this link that Mark dropped in the comments on the Painted Lines YouTube. Yeah, local spot. Figured. What are you drinking, Abe? At the YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter right here. If it doesn't work, it's posted on Twitter, on Mark's Twitter. I retweeted it on the Faithful Fanatics account, my account, the Painted Lines. We'll tweet it out again on the Painted Lines. We'll put it in our public Discord on the Painted Lines. You guys can join it anywhere. I think it closes at noon tomorrow. The tip for the first four starts either now. Is it a 5 o'clock tip?
Yeah, it's. I think it's about to start in 10 minutes. Also, I don't even think I locked the group for tomorrow. So if you want to join late tomorrow, you still could probably join because it locks the brackets anyway. You can't change the brackets at noon anyway. So you can join whenever, but obviously get in as soon as possible. Why not?
All right, guys. For myself, you can follow me on Twitter at DylanJD98 or follow the Faithful Fanatics podcast on Twitter at FaithfulFans2. Follow my man Mark at Mark Henry Jr. _ and go check him out when he goes live in a few minutes, wherever you're streaming right now on the Painted Lines YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter accounts. Mark, go break down that Midwest region and give out your Final Four and picks, man. Have a nice night and enjoy the tournament, everybody.